This is the introduction to BattleBots. This is meant to be an overview of what to expect and a demonstration of what your game could look like. BattleBots is a console application where a single player is going to be playing against the computer. The player, once prompted, will determine a player name and select a weapon from a list of 5 options. Each of these 5 weapons is superior to 2 others. In other words, each weapon can beat 2 of them, and it's also inferior to 2 others. So it's going to be like our rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Each one can beat 2, and each one can be beaten by 2. Now, once the game begins, the player is attacked by the computer with a weapon randomly selected from the 5 weapon options. Now, once attacked, the game player decides to attack, defend, or retreat. Each of these 3 options will have a varying effect on fuel consumption, damage sustained, and points earned or points lost. The objective of the game is to maximize points before running out of fuel or sustaining a critical level of damage. Once the player has either used all their fuel or is critically damaged, the game is over. We're going to also use Easter eggs. For those of you not familiar with Easter eggs, these are going to be the hidden elements included, and specifically, these hidden elements are going to be able to extend the life of the player, in other words, by adding fuel or repairing damage, as well as maximizing points, in other words, giving bonus points. So there's 2 types of Easter eggs that's required. One that's going to extend the life, and the other is going to give you bonus points. Now, these are the minimum specifications. It is expected that you would add some additional items, some additional features to your game to make it more interesting, to make it more fun for whoever's playing. So let me give you an example of the bare minimum of what we would expect. Here in this example, you see you have a prompt here, welcome to the Battle of the Bots, and there are no winners in this fight. Your bot will be destroyed. It is just a matter of how many points you can earn before you die. So what is the name of the bot to be destroyed? Let's just give the bot a name. And here you see the 5 weapons that have been selected. Now, you do not have to have the same weapons that's in this demonstration. You can come up with an entirely new set of 5, or you can use some of these, you can use all of these. This is just an example. So I'm going to, let's see, pick a spinning blade. And let's see, I want to be quiet for just a minute because I'm going to play this and then we'll go back and we'll review it. So let me take a look at what I've got going here. This is the basic information, and let me play. I've never had a game this successful before. This is not normal. I'm just going to let the time run here a little bit. This is going much longer than anticipated. Once again, never had a game this high of points here. In the interest of time, I think I'm just going to go ahead and run this out. $153 points. Now, keep in mind, I'm used to earning maybe around 20 points, but, you know, it just happened to work out. So let's take a look at what we have here in this game. Now, once again, as the minimum. Now, one thing I did is I turned off the sound on this because it was interfering. But we will eventually have a soundtrack going on with this. So think about the type of sound effects that you're going to want to have in your game. Minimum requirements would be a background, like when you open the game, we have some sort of sound effect, maybe a looping sound effect in the background, and a sound effect during the battles. In other words, something like metal striking metal, the sound of flames, or anything like that. So be spinning blades or saws, something along those lines. But let's take a look at what we have here. Let's see. It's not going to take me all the way back up to the top. But let's see. Where is it picking me up? Points earned 119. Wow. The places where I have... Here we go. Here's an Easter egg right here. Your opponent is vulnerable. This is one of my Easter eggs. So if you attack when your opponent is vulnerable, that's an opportunity to get additional points. So if you look, I went from 122 to 135 here. That was a larger than normal jump. I've got it based on a timer, so the faster I respond to that, the more points I would get. So that's one Easter egg. Another Easter egg in here was the if I get attacked, I am a spinning blade, and if I get attacked by another spinning blade, you can see instead of attack or defend, I typed out absorb, which means I just absorbed all their resources. And this is how my game kept going. For what it, as luck would have it, I kept getting attacked by a spinning blade, and I kept absorbing the resources. So I went from a fuel level of 9 to a fuel level of 29. I could look at my condition level. I'm already up at 127. I go up to 147. So my condition level is maximized. I mean, it's way up there because I keep absorbing every time I get attacked by a spinning blade. That's an Easter egg that I have in there to extend my lifetime. And I don't really see anything else in there. That those are the two Easter eggs. You see in here how with each one, I'm expending fuel. I'm losing my health condition, and that's how you're eventually going to die as far as your robot. And that's about it. That's all I want to show you on this one. Now, once again, for your assignment on this particular part, I want you as a team. You're going to be in teams of 3. And I want you as a team to come up with your own rules in addition to what I've given you here. Your object is to come up with something that's going to be interesting. I mean, you may look at this and say, okay, this might be interesting for a couple minutes, but this is just a demonstration to get you started. Come up with additional rules. Come up with additional features. Come up with additional play tactics. Change the type of weapons, but I want you to stay with 5. 5 weapons is what I want you to stay with. And I think that covers everything. That's enough to get you going, enough to get you started. If you need any further clarification, by all means, ask me. I'll sit down with your team. We'll go over it, and I'll be glad to look at what you've got going. All right, best of luck.